Hey, J here. We're going to be looking at some of the spookiest locations in game. Let's get started. I tried an experiment of wearing the pagan ritual mask and sacrificing a goat on top of the pentagram to see if it would trigger anything, but unfortunately it didn't. We never did find out why or how this pentagram is here, so here are some of my theories. I think that it's possible that someone or some type of cult has been practicing dark magic here, and as a result, the pentagram glows here every night. Usually you will see a man sitting outside of the cabin. Could he be the cause of this? Another thought is this symbol glows here to show you that Butcher Creek is cursed. If you want to see this for yourself, you'll have to come here to this cabin at 4 AM. The pentagram will stay for 1 in-game hour. I'll show you the location on my map now. Some people believe that Butcher's Creek isn't cursed and the people are just sick because of lead poisoning. If you do the mission, A Wisdom of the Elders, you can see that the shaman gets into the villagers' heads and makes them think that there is a curse. The whole mission sort of makes you think that Butcher's Creek curse isn't real, but I think that this pentagram is showing us that the curse is real. And there it goes. I'd love to hear some of your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. Next up we have the Strange Man's cabin. I'm sure you all know who the Strange Man is by now, but if not, I'll give you a bit of the background. Here's the location. The Strange Man appears in the first Red Dead Redemption game, in a series of side missions called I Know You. He seems to know every detail of John's life and even mentions his time with the Vanderlyn gang. Many people believe the Strange Man to be Death himself, including me, and I'll get into why later on. Others think that the Strange Man could be Trelawney, but I don't think this would be true. Trelawney's personality is completely different to the Strange Man. When you first walk inside the cabin, you'll instantly get creepy vibes from it. Depending whether you have good honour or bad honour, you will see different paintings depicted in the room. Because I have good honour, I can see the eagle and also the buck. But if you had bad honour, I believe this to be a coyote or a wolf. The Strange Man seems to have a real interest on your morals. On the walls you can find cryptic writing reading, "The water is black with venom." In the middle of the room you can see an unfinished portrait of the Strange Man, and if you come back here as John over a couple of days, the portrait will finish and it will be a picture of the Strange Man. Now on to the second piece of writing. His final toll will sound my greatest coming. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Then it reads, I know you. This one says the moon will shine on the darkness. From the snow to the cave. I gave everything for art and I learned too much and nothing at all. When I'm inside this cabin, I always feel like the Strange Man is going to jump out at me and attack me or something. You can also see this top hat here that looks very similar to the clothing that the Strange Man would wear. There is a map of Armadillo reading, I offered you happiness or 2 generations, you made your choice. There is a poem that is scratched into the table. There once was a man called Jimmy Brooks who was always run into crooks, but the man from the ferry found him far too contrary. Now Jimmy's family don't see him very much. If you kill Jimmy Brooks in chapter 2, this is what the poem reads, but if you spare him, the poem reads differently. There once was a man called Jimmy Brooks who was always run into crooks, till one chased him down and he had to talk his way around that Jimmy isn't as dumb as he looks. I think the Strange Man is Death or the Devil, as he seems to know that John is going to die. You can also get an encounter with an NPC outside Armadillo saying a man in a tall top hat and black suit cursed Armadillo. He seems to have some sort of immortal powers. I think that Herbert Moon made a deal with the Strange Man. Inside the cabin it says 2 generations or happiness, which I think Herbert chose 2 generations of life. He is now unhappy because his daughter is married to a Jew and doesn't want to work in the grocery business. You can find this all out if you kill Herbert and loot his body. You will find a letter. Herbert is the only one in Armadillo without the cholera disease. He also has a small portrait of the Strange Man in his shop. This definitely makes me think there's something going on there. It even says in the cabin, the moon shines in the darkness. Moon meaning Herbert Moon. He is the darkness in Armadillo. I do have to borrow some footage from RJ here, that's Trippy Commentaries. Make sure to go and check his channel out as well, he posts really great videos. But yeah, you can see this Strange Man in the mirror. How creepy is that? That gives me the chills every time. And here is the completed painting. which John will note down this. This place made me feel like I was being watched, queerest feeling I've ever felt, hard to explain, fascinating and awful and seductive all at once. Now on to the ghost train. This is probably one of the most hardest Easter eggs to spawn. It will only show up between 3 and 4 AM. I'm just on my way now to the spot you need to go to get it to spawn in, but now let's talk about some theories here. I know lots of people think it's the derailed train up by Katora Springs. That does make a lot of sense, but it's quite far away. From there to down to Lemoyne, it's quite far away. You'd think, why would the train be running around those tracks? I know the trains do operate around the whole country in Red Dead, so I know I can see people's point there. But when I see the ghost train, funny enough, I think of Casper the Friendly Ghost. I know most of you have probably all seen that movie by now, and yeah, the ghost train in it looks exactly like the ghost train from Casper. So we're at the spot now, and I actually got the train to spawn in at 3:30 AM. And here it comes. Whoa, that is so crazy. And you can follow it on your horse, but your horse will get spooked and it will just stop on you. There's nothing you can do on the controller to, you know, control the horse. It kind of just does it automatically. You can only follow it so far, and you can even see like the sparks on the railway tracks there. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it probably is the derailed train. I look at that video of the ghost train. I pictured it a little different. Anyway, here's the location I got the ghost train to spawn in. Just in and around this area, anywhere should get it to spawn there for you. Next up, we have Gertrude Brave38, and if you want to find her, go right here. Gertrude is mentally insane and physically deformed, so her family locked her up in the outhouse, hidden away from the world. They were afraid that if word got out about Gertrude, that the family name would be tarnished, so they hid her away instead of sending her to an asylum. You find this out when helping Penelope Braithwaite to escape from her family. Arthur can take her to the outhouse, and Penelope will tell her that the family is ashamed of Gertrude. Penelope says she will do whatever she can from Boston, but Arthur is highly doubtful. If you return and the epilogue is John, Gertrude will be dead. She counts very wrongly, I may add. Here is a better picture of her before we move on. Now on to the witch's cauldron. Go right here if you want to find it. So I actually have a theory about this one. I think that the witch could be the crow. It makes sense. Maybe she turned herself into a crow so that she could be hidden when she heard Arthur come in. We know back in those days, if you were taken for a witch, you were burned at the stake. The witch probably panicked and heard Arthur's footsteps, then turned herself into a crow as a disguise. What do you guys think of that one? We know it's you. Your disguise didn't work on us. So let's take some of the potion and see what it does to Arthur. It's actually jotted down as mysterious liquid. I think that there could be animal sort of remains in this and everything. Just some messed up stuff. And Arthur drinks it and then he actually passes out. Then he wakes up like a few feet away from the cauldron. I wonder why it's so close. You'd think it would just like spawn you really far away. So weird. Then you actually hear the noise that sounds like your cores have been boosted. That doesn't make sense. Why is your cores sounding like they're being boosted if you pass out? Also, I want to add, I think you get bad honor for shooting the crow as well, which is pretty odd. Another idea is that the crow is just the witch's pet. Anyway, what's your sort of thoughts and opinions on this one, or anything we talked about today? Let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps me out a lot. Even hit the notification bell so you know when I'm live. I'd love to hear from you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.